The Las Vegas Raiders just made moves this offseason that could completely flip the script on every single team in the AFC, and the crazy part is, most people are still sleeping on it. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't the same old Raiders story. This isn't another wait until next year speech. This is a franchise that just loaded up with young, hungry, dangerous talent, and the entire league should be paying attention right now. Because here's what's wild. There are TWO massive stories breaking out of Las Vegas right now. One is about a group of rookies so impressive that people inside the organization literally cannot hide their excitement. The other is about serious pressure building behind the scenes that's about to change who starts, who plays, and who gets sent home. And together, these two stories tell us exactly where the Raiders are heading. And honestly, Raider Nation, it's the most exciting direction this team has pointed in years. Some of you are pumped. Some of you are nervous. Some of you have been burned too many times to get your hopes up again. And honestly, that's fair. But right now, people around the NFL are talking about the Raiders again, and not in a pity way. In a real, genuine, this team might be dangerous kind of way. So the question is simple. Is this finally the moment the Raiders stop rebuilding and start winning? Let's break it all down. The rookie that changes everything. Let's start with the biggest name and the biggest spotlight. Fernando Mendoza, the #1 overall pick. Now look, on paper, Kirk Cousins is the starter. He knows the offense, he has the experience, and the coaching staff wants a smooth transition while Mendoza learns the system. That all makes sense. But be real with yourself for 1 second. Does anybody actually believe Mendoza sits the entire year? Think about every quarterback drafted first overall in recent memory. Almost every single one of them saw the field early. The modern NFL moves fast. Teams don't wait 2 or 3 years anymore. If Cousins struggles, if the offense stalls, if the team falls behind, Mendoza is going in. Period. What makes this really interesting, though, isn't just the physical talent. It's the mental side. Coming out of Indiana, Mendoza ran a heavy RPO system. Now he has to step into a pro-style offense where he's under center way more often, reading defenses he's never seen before, processing information in split seconds with 300-pound men trying to end his career. That transition breaks a lot of rookie quarterbacks mentally. But from everything coming out of the Raiders facility right now, this kid processes the game incredibly fast and takes preparation seriously. He doesn't panic. He doesn't fold under pressure. And in Las Vegas, where the spotlight is massive and the fan base demands results, that mental toughness might be the most important thing Mendoza brings to the table. Will there be rough games? Absolutely. Interceptions? Guaranteed. Ugly moments that make Raider Nation want to throw their remote through the TV. Oh, 100%. But if this kid has the toughness everyone inside the building believes he has, this franchise finally has its quarterback of the future. And that changes everything about how we look at every other piece on this roster. But wait until you hear about the defensive rookie who might actually beat Mendoza to a starting job on day one. The defensive weapon nobody saw coming. Everybody's talking about Mendoza. Fine. But the rookie who might make the most immediate impact on this team is Tradean Stokes. And if you're not fired up about this guy yet, you need to be. The Raiders' safety position last season was a disaster. Plain and simple. The defense gave up a 70% completion rate in coverage over 500-plus snaps from that position. Receivers were running free. Big plays were killing the team. It was painful to watch. Stokes fixes that problem immediately. This guy is a rare kind of defensive back, the kind that defensive coordinators dream about because he can do everything. Outside corner. Yes. Nickel. Yes. Safety. Yes. Deep middle. Yes. Rob Leonard can literally move him anywhere on the field, and Stokes doesn't just survive. He thrives. Here's the stat that should blow your mind. At Arizona, Stokes allowed only a 26.1% completion rate when he was the primary defender. That is an insane number. He had 4 interceptions and the speed to stay with receivers going deep, which is exactly what this defense was missing. Drafted at number 38 overall, General Manager John Sbycch specifically talked about wanting players who will do whatever the team asks without complaining. Stokes is exactly that kind of player. Coachable, versatile, and already producing at a ridiculous level on tape. Raider Nation, if this kid shows out in training camp, there is no keeping him off the field. The starting job is his to lose. Now, which rookie do you think has the best shot at making a Pro Bowl this season? Drop a name in the comments right now. Let's see who Raider Nation believes in most. The offensive line sleeper pick. Here's a name you need to write down right now. Trey Zoo III. Everybody loves talking about skill position players and quarterbacks. But in Clint Kubak's offense, the offensive line is everything. And Trey Zoo might quietly become one of the smartest picks the Raiders made in this entire draft. This guy played left tackle and center at Texas A&M, and the Raiders drafted him as a guard. That kind of versatility is gold in today's NFL. Zoo said it himself. He takes pride in being able to line up at all 5 positions. Coaches absolutely love hearing that. Why does he have a real shot to play right away? Because several starting spots on this offensive line are genuinely up for grabs. Zoo could battle for a guard spot or even push for time at right tackle, especially after DJ Glaze allowed 70 pressures and 16 sacks in 2025. That is not acceptable. Nobody's job should feel safe after numbers like that. Brandon Hunt talked about wanting physical, aggressive football players in that room. Players who love the violence of the line of scrimmage. That's Raiders' DNA. That's what this fan base has always wanted to see. A nasty, physical offensive line that punishes defenses instead of backing down from them. Trey Zoo fits that mold perfectly. Don't sleep on this guy. And speaking of not sleeping on people, the running back situation in Las Vegas just got a whole lot more dangerous. The explosive weapon the offense needed. The Raiders' offense has had a serious problem for years now. They have been way too easy to defend. Not enough big plays. Not enough speed that forces defenses to respect the threat of getting burned deep. Not enough guys who turn short gains into massive chunk plays. Mike Washington Jr. might just solve all of that. Here are the numbers. Over 1,000 rushing yards at Arkansas in 2025, 606 yards after contact, 6'2", 223 pounds, and a 4.33 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. Read that again. A 4.33 at 223 pounds. That combination of size and speed at running back is genuinely rare and genuinely scary for opposing defenses. And the situation he's walking into is perfect. Clint Kubak already said he wants to run a 2-back system. Ashton Ginty had a huge workload last season and the team clearly doesn't want to wear him down. So Washington steps right in as a dangerous RB2 who can carry the ball, create explosive plays, and keep defenses completely off balance. Brandon Hunt called him an explosive weapon who can make an instant impact. And honestly, if Washington and Ginty are both healthy and rolling at the same time, defenses cannot key in on stopping just one guy anymore. That makes the entire offense harder to defend. Now here is the big picture moment where everything comes together. This is not a slow rebuild anymore. Everything we just talked about points to one very clear message from this Raiders front office. The slow, patient rebuild is officially over. You do not draft a quarterback first overall unless you believe the future starts right now. You do not stack your roster with versatile, competitive, hungry young players unless you are trying to completely change the culture inside that building. You do not make every veteran feel like their starting spot could be taken unless you are serious about raising the standard. Kirk Cousins feels that pressure. The offensive linemen feel it. The defensive backs feel it. Everyone in that building feels it. And honestly, Raider Nation, it is long overdue. For years, fans begged this organization to stop accepting average. Stop giving out starting jobs based on big contracts and past reputation. Make people compete. Make people earn it every single week. This rookie class feels like the first real sign the Raiders are actually listening. Will it all work out perfectly? Nobody can promise that. Raiders fans have seen promising off-seasons fall apart before. The scars are real. The disappointment has been real. But the energy right now, the competition, the urgency, the accountability, and most importantly, the genuine hope at quarterback, that combination feels different. Because if Fernando Mendoza develops into the franchise quarterback this organization desperately needs, then suddenly Tradean Stokes becoming a defensive star makes more sense. Trey Zoo locking down the offensive line makes more sense. Mike Washington Jr. adding explosiveness makes more sense. Young talent building together, growing together, winning together. That is how real contenders are built. Raider Nation has waited a long time for this franchise to build something that lasts longer than 2 seasons. These next few months are going to tell us a lot about whether this group of young players is truly ready to carry the silver and black into a new era. Because this fan base does not do quiet. This fan base does not do patient and polite. You wear silver and black, you better be ready to perform, or the noise will find you fast. So tell me right now, do you think Fernando Mendoza starts before Week 8 this season? Which rookie are you most excited about? And are you finally ready to believe the Raiders are building something real? Drop everything in the comments. The conversation starts right now. And if you are riding with the Raiders through every up and every down this season, you already know what to do. We ride together, Raider Nation.